So hi there, welcome to lesson 6. Wow, we'll be doing four commands in this session, but I'm sure it's going to be very interesting. Don't worry, you'll not be overwhelmed by all the information. We'll keep it as simple as possible. So remember, I told you that whenever you are preparing data, you need to prepare data for evaluation and review. And there are some data that cannot be used in a certain format to provide the kind of information you are looking for. So let's move on to the next slide, and then I'll explain Destring and Tostring. That's the first combination. So Destring to string command. Destring converts a string or string variables into numeric. That's interesting. Now, I told you that string variables, please go back to module 1, could be alphanumeric. What I mean by this is that there are numbers written in red, and what the string does, it changes it to black. I told you numbers are black, strings are red. So it's a number. You can see this is a number. It changes it to numeric. Now, to string converts numeric variables into string. And you may wonder why that is possible, why it's needed. Trust me, in my career, I'd had to use both. And there are incidences where you need to string, and there are incidences where you need to destring. Now, note the words destring. Destring means strip a variable of its string properties, so to help you remember. But to string means convert it to a string, take it to string. So I hope that helps you to remember and not confuse them. Destring means remove everything called string. And what is just saying that when you destring a thing, you've made it a number. You've changed red into black, or black into red. So let's look at the syntax. Very similar syntax. So destring is var list. So you can take a couple of string variables in red and destring them. And then we have comma generate a new var list, or you have what we call replace. To string var list, you will now generate a new variable, or you replace. So I will also try to show this in the practical session. So let's look at this. So if I say destring code, that means the code is in red. It's in the red color, and it will now generate a number code. But if I say destring code replace, we don't have an extra variable. Now, I told you sometimes there's a need to keep the original. I want to see the original code in red, and I want to see the new number code in black. The same thing, to string code will generate a string code, and then you have the original code. But when you say to string code comma replace, the red turns to black. All this we will show you in our practical class. So just hold on. We're coming back to all these concepts again, but just put this picture in your mind. I'm happy for you to take a screenshot at this point, store it somewhere, because we're coming back to this. But the principle is just two variables may be one extra variable may be created, or the current one may be upgraded. So it's either replaced or upgraded. Now let's move on to the next pair. So we have the encode and the decode. Encode converts a string variable to a labeled numeric variable. That's what we call categorical. String variable to a labeled numeric variable. Decode does the reverse. It takes a labeled numeric variable and converts it into a string. If you remember, I said categorical variables are very interesting. Numbers represent words. We have done that in label definition. We've said 1 is yes, 2 is no. We've said 1 is male, 2 is female. So when I have male and female written in words, I use encode to make it a numeric variable. So here we are changing red to blue and blue to red. So please, if you are not aware of what I just said, then that means you had missed the lesson we had in module 2. And I guess that's the 7th lesson. So please quickly go back to the video and check it. So if you have any comments, any questions, put it in the comments below. But please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We want to take massive doses of commands, share them with you, and really simplify them, tell you where they are applied, and generate a new set of people who are not scared of any data set they see, no matter how huge. Okay, let's look at syntax now. So the syntax is encode variable name, and there's if in. I've mentioned that also in module 2 when we use if or in, and it generates a new variable. If you observe, unlike Tostring and Destring, it doesn't have a replace option. It must generate a new variable. And in some other videos, if you ask me in the comments, request I explain why I said what I said, I will create another video. So if I have enough comments in the video, I will do a video explaining this concept I just mentioned. But until then, enjoy the ride. We'll take a practical session shortly, but look at the example again. So encode code gives me label code. Decode code gives me string, basically labels or codes as you may call them. So just hold on there. Don't be scared. Don't be flustered. We are about to explain everything we just said here. So nothing to fear. Just relax. We're going to the practical session again, and I'm sure you would understand everything I mentioned by the time I'm done. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. We are bringing out enough quality stuff. We are teaching you systematically, and the goal is to raise a tribe of people who can produce the highest possible quality of data in the shortest possible time at the lowest possible cost. And I'm counting on you to help me make this vision a reality. But in the meantime, let's meet in the practical class where I will show you how to use these powerful tools for creating and preparing data for evaluation. See you in the practical session. Thank you. So hi there, we are now in lesson 6 where we look at encode, decode, Tostring and Destring. Now to make it easy for us, I'm going to take out, we just stopped in the lesson 4 with this data set. So I'm just going to comment them out, and what I do is just press Control / so it's commented out. All it does, it just gives me the variable without labels. Now you can see all these variables that we had mentioned: Spain, Germany, Norway, Italy. They are all black, and they are all basically integers, that's whole numbers. So I am able to string them. Now please pay attention to the colors, and someday you will need this. So if I said to string Spain and I said comma replace, what it means is it goes to the Spain column and makes it a string. Currently you can only to string something that's already numeric. So currently it's a number, it's numeric, and it's a continuous variable like we had mentioned. So when I to string and replace, it will turn red. So let's see if that happens. So you see Spain has a red column. Of course, I can add it because it works with the syntax var list. So I can pick all these variables. If you go back to lesson 4, you'll see what we had done here. I just copied that out. All the 6 countries can now be in string format, and they all be replaced. So you see, so literally the entire data set is string. Now, there are times, trust me, you will need to have something like this. So, but it's just important that you know it exists, so that when it's time to apply that knowledge, it will not be difficult. Now, when you have Spain like this, I mean, you have to string already. Sorry, I did Spain twice. You may want to leave the original Spain and generate Spain 2. So to string Spain 2. Did I spell Spain well? Spain, Spain, Spain. Okay. So when I generate now or run, let's run this. There is a variable called Spain2, and you can see just after here the same exact things, only that one is red and the other is black. So take a very good look at it. That's how it works. So there's option to create and there's option to replace. Now we could now take Spain2 that has been generated and destring it, because Spain2 is red and we want to change it to black. So Spain2, comma, replace. And then we run. So that's it. But what if you want to keep Spain2 and then you want to gen Spain3? Still also fine. So gen Spain3. So when you run, you can have, this is the original Spain. Now Spain was turned to string in line 12 here, and in line 13 the Spain2 here has been turned. So Spain3 and Spain, they are exactly the same thing. So basically that is how to string and destring works. Now let's move on to the last variable here. We could see member 1, member 2, member 16 here, and we want to use encode. Now I told you encode gives strings a code. Encode means gives code. Decode means remove code or disconnect code. So let's encode member serial. Sorry, member serial. Now, every time you encode or decode, you must generate. We do not have the replacement theory. So think about it logically. Think about it deep in the comments. Why do you think that is? That encode and decode do not have replacements. Okay. So, okay. I will call this membership serial 1. And let's see what it produces for us. So let's go back here and look. So red has turned to blue. And of course, if I looked at row 1 for member 1, the value here is showing member 1 because it's text. But the value here is showing value 1, which is different here. So just look at this box area here, or text area. This is 1. This is member 1. This is 9, and this is member 2. So there is a 9 behind the 2. So that is how it works. There is a number for every text. We had explained that for categorical variables. So that's how it works here. And let's see if we can now decode what we encoded. So we're now going to decode member serial 1, decode member serial 1, and now we will gen member serial 2. So all we are saying now is that we want to pick this product here that is blue and change it to red. So let's see how it goes. So now we have been able to replicate it. So this is how encode and decode works. And trust me, by the time we begin to do certain tasks, certain complex work, you'll be able to understand. So please take out this file, like I always tell my students, tear it apart, play with it, tweak things around, play with as much things as possible until you have boosted your confidence. So 4 commands we have done in this, and probably the highest, okay, apart from certain lessons we had in module 2. So we are really taking time to explain 4 of these commands that help you prepare data or used in what we call data creation for the purpose of this course. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next lesson.